Wait a second.
I'll give you 2 seconds.
No, I just mean that I didn't know I was going to be chatting with you. I thought I was going to be chatting with Sam.
You seem let down, bro. You want me to go get Sam? I'll get Sam instead. If you really don't want, if you don't see me.
Yeah, could you please? I don't want to talk to you. I always talk to you. How are you, man? No, I'm joking. You don't have to get Sam.
I'm kidding, man. Our lives are literally like parallel lives. I mean, a few things different. He's picking up baby and I'm picking up dog but is it really a difference?
No, it really isn't.
I got snakes in the background.
What?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Oh my God. Holy crap. How many snakes do you have?
I have about 9 right now, soon to be like 15.
Why?
I love them. You know what I'm doing? I'm naming them all after politicians on both sides of the aisle because I think all politicians are all snakes. All of them.
So what's the biggest snake you... Well, this sounds really personal, but what's the biggest snake you have?
This one blue one. He's from Florida, actually. You ever see those Florida the Florida blue garter snakes around you?
Yeah, but I usually run.
Nah, they're harmless. If I see him, I'll get him. Nah, he's hiding. He's bright blue, and they're from Florida.
And what's his name?
His name is Ron. I got a Nancy, all politicians on both sides of the aisle.
After this interview, one of them might be named Fink. JP, it's funny because, like I was saying, I thought Sam was going to be in here, and literally the first thing I was going to say was, Sam, I apologize if I call you JP because I'm so used to talking to JP.
Even better.
But now I might call you Sam. You never know, JP. Now I'm getting it all confused in my head. JP, Cash, welcome back to America's Dance 30.
Thank you for having me.
Not only welcome back to America's Dance 30, but welcome back. I mean, it's great having Cash back.
Oh, it's always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure. You guys are always supporting our records, and the least we could do is jump on here and chat it up
with the snakes. And congratulations on another #1 with Anyway. That is so amazing.
Thank you, man. Thank you. It's a good song. It's a special song. I really like this one a lot. It's one of those like simple songs. It's not like pages of like poetry and like it's just a simple word, just a simple concept, and it really hits the spot. Like I think we all could relate to this one. Whoever it is in our lives, if you have that one person that you can just always count on, they never judge you, they just love you the way you are and not asking you to change. They're not trying to mold you into something. That just they love you, whether it's a relationship, a best friend, or whatever it might be. And I think it's just really special.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about how the special song was born with RuthAnne coming up. But before we do that, let's get to know Cash a little better with Finky's Firsts.
Let's do it.
So I love finding out the origin story of people. Let's find out the origin story of Cash. JP was being a DJ, producer. Was that or a musician? Was that the first thing you wanted to be growing up?
When we were real young, we were just, we grew up listening to like Nirvana and Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots. So we were just really like into the alt rock scene, and Sam and I were just like jamming on guitar and bass and drums. And we were just like, playing different bands growing up. And then my brother was kind of like, he was in the next generation, which was all about like the computer, and he had Fruity Loops on his computer. And Sam and I were like learning how to record. Like we were plugging our mixer into our computer, getting an interface going, and like real young, just learning how to record drums in our parents' basement. And he's in the other room just doing his own thing on Fruity Loops. And it was just like one day I was like, wait a second, we should be working together on some stuff. Like, I should, instead of picking on him, I should like put him in the group. So then he joined the group. And we had different names and stuff, going under different names. And then, we came together under Cash, and it all just made sense. But it was really funny the way it worked. Like every generation's focusing on different stuff. And then we all just got sucked into the whole production, electronic, side of things. And we all shine in different areas, and we just put our skills together to make Cash.
And talking about the names, that was actually going to be my next question. Was Cash the first name you guys were going to go with? You said that you guys were bouncing around. What were some other names?
We had a bunch of names. I mean, when we first got signed, we had one name, and then we didn't copyright that name, and then so this other rapper had that name. So then we were like, all right, let's come up with a new name. But we were a new band anyway, so we were like, we might as well. At that point, we didn't even have any of the same members that were in the group, so it almost like made sense. Like new sound, new songs. It's time for a new name. And Cash Cash just came out. We had a song called Cash 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 at the time. And we just thought, hey, Cash Cash, let's go for it.
Totally makes sense. Now, as you mentioned, you guys were like an emo punk band before the EDM transfer. Do you remember the first song you guys wrote?
In that vein, I want to say like the electronic-y, like, pop thing was probably, we had this song called Breakout. We did that one. And it was just like, it kind of brought us into that dimension of just like electronic drums and, like just different kinds of electronic production. And then we just worked. Every song we put out after that was a little bit more in the realm of it. And we were remixing at the time too. So remixing for all these artists, that people were coming to us to do these remixes. And we were like, all of a sudden our remixes started to sound more like our original music, and it just kind of merged into one. And then, that's how we kind of made our evolution, as you would say.
Oh, I see what you did there. Now,
but it was really organic, because it wasn't like one day we were like, hey, and we're going to be DJs today. Because it was like, like some people, that's the case. Like we had, it wasn't like, oh, the world was becoming more electronic, so we're going to be more electronic. Like it wasn't that at all. Like our drummer quit the group right in around 2011. I want to say, I think it was 11. He quit the group, so it was just the three of us. We're like, what do? More electronic drums. We don't need a drummer anymore. And then it was like, no more, less guitar. I don't want to play guitar anymore, so I just focused on singing. And then I was singing on some songs that were on spinning records, which was a kind of like a good. If you really want to see how we transferred, if you go listen to the Michael Jackson tribute song that we did, as well as this other song, I Like It Loud, which was on spinning records, and that kind of was like our transfer into the new Cash Cash at the time. And ironically speaking, now we're going back, taking all that stuff, putting it together to make Cash Cash 3.0, which is just a combination of everything we know from like our band days to our EDM producer days. And I'm singing on our next single.
Nice.
Again, like singing the whole song, like not just like, duetting it with someone, or it's just something I wrote, like, there wasn't any other like features to write with. I wrote the whole song, with just in this head right here and just out on paper. Like it was one of those pandemic songs, just got from my head to the paper and, in the pandemic. And I'm really excited for it. It's a special one.
Well, can't wait to hear that one. Cash Cash has played all over the world, the biggest festivals. I mean, I think it was last month that you guys were in Indonesia doing shows. Yep. Do you remember the first show you guys did as Cash Cash?
I think it was a knitting factory. No, maybe, I think it was Knitting Factory in New York. I think that was it.
And how did it go?
I'll have to check that. It was pretty good. I remember it was actually all right. And we were like, you know what? That wasn't too bad. But we've been playing, like the group with like Sam, like, we didn't expect it to be bad because Sam and I have been playing since we were in third grade, and then my brother as well. It wasn't like, getting a bunch of new guys together, not sure how people are going to react. Like we had a history already.
But then what about DJing? How did that first show go?
Oh, that was funny. That was Sam kind of like, first we were figuring stuff out, like, how do we do this? What do we do that? Like we were getting thrown in random clubs in the city that were like not even like oriented to have a real DJ booth. It was kind of just like a little hook, a little section in the room, like off behind a room. So we didn't really know what we were doing. It was kind of just learning as we went. Trial and error, making mistakes, watching other guys and seeing what they were doing and kind of just putting all the pieces together and just figuring it out. But that's been how we always did things. We figured it out as we went. We never had a playbook. We never had many mentors like take us under wing. Most people just, I don't know. We never had like other artists like try to help us out. Everyone was always like, I don't know, afraid of us, or like they didn't want to help us. And we were like, well, we'll have our own thing. We'll do it. We did it ourselves. And it felt better that way.
Absolutely.
Like,
yeah, definitely.
Being in someone else's shadow or something like that. But there was no, at the time we had YouTube. There was no YouTube. It was like maybe a tutorial on some dude's blog that he wrote in like 2001. And we were just like, got to figure it out ourselves.
Got to go off of that.
Yeah. Now you jump on TikTok. A guy will teach you how to do this. Sidechain in a vocal. We'll teach you how to EQ and lead. Download the vocal preset. You can get the whole preset. Just download it to your computer. It's like we're sitting there, take 3 days to get the vocal to sound good, you know. And
I had to fix my toilet, and I YouTube that, and I fixed my own toilet. You can do anything now. Now, of course, Cash Cash has had some amazing vocalists, you know, BB Rexa, Dashboard Confessional, Johnny Resnick, Nelly, Sophia Reyes, RuthAnne, of course, with the brand new smash. Do you remember the first vocalist that you guys worked with besides you?
It's tough to remember because there was a lot of artists that were coming to us to just produce for them, and like you know, like we would have a lot of people like Sam, Alex, and I. We had a studio, like a home studio that we all rented a house around 2011 to 2012, end of 13. And it was just this like, it was almost like a frat house, and there was a studio in the basement. People would just come in and out of it, and we would just record different female artists, pop artists. I can't remember who would have been the first one, but I think even BB was one of the first ones that was like for us though, working with a feature for us, not for someone else. And that was Take Me Home.
That's insane that it was such a smash on one of your first ones.
Yeah. It was a special song.
I want to say that may have been the first time I met you guys in person and met BB when you guys came through the radio station.
Yeah. Yep.
Finally, in Finky's firsts, one of the lyrics of your number one smash, Anyway, is no matter what I do or say, you'll love me anyway. Yep. Who is the first person you're going to tell if you do something bad enough that hopefully they'll still love you anyway?
I mean, your mom's always going to love you no matter what. I mean, you could kill someone. Mom, I killed someone. Oh my God. What do we do?
I thought you said my mom. I'm like, wait a second. I thought it was your mom joke for a second there. That's hilarious. Well, JP, let's talk all things anyway. How was this song born with RuthAnne?
How did it originally start? I think it was her, I want to say her publisher, I think sent it to, actually it was this dude, Lewis, who was a mutual friend, sent us the top line, and we heard it and we were like, oh my God, this one's a smash. Like, I heard that lyric at first, I was like, is it cheesy? Is it a little bit, is it like on the nose? Is it like a little too, just, simple, too like on the nose? And then I tell the story. It's the truth. I literally looked down, I looked at my dog, and my dog was just looking at me, and I was like, oh my God, no, like this is a vibe. It's just no matter what, you love them anyway, no matter what and that's the way the dogs are. Like, they just, no matter what you do, they will love you. Forget to walk them, they'll love you. They love you no matter what. It's unconditional love. And ironically, he ended up on the album art, that's a lot of people are like, what the hell is that beast on the album? Like, it's my dog. He's not a beast. He's a 10-pound Brussels Griffin, and he's adorable. But we got him. I did like the Adam Sandler thing where you're like,
oh my God.
and that's how we got that photo. That's how that song was born. And for me, I was like, this is the one. This is a special one. Let's make it a single. And then RuthAnne sounded great on it. What more could you ask for?
Now, was this in the transition period when you guys were, dealing with label stuff, or was this prior to it?
This song we started around 2000 and dates are tough for me, especially once the pandemic happened.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact date, but it was a while. We were working on this one for quite some time. There were a few different versions of it. And then the final version, I forgot the date.
Well,
but I'd say we were working on it. It was definitely a pandemic song.
Well, that's going to lead into my next question. I love finding out how many different versions there are of a song from when you start working on it, all the tweaked versions till you're finally done. What was the final V of Anyway?
This one wasn't very different. This one was like all in the same tempo range versus like some of our others. I mean, there's like, our song with Christina Perri, Hero, there was about 4 versions of that song that were all completely different, like not even the same song. It was just insane. And we ended up releasing 2 of them. We released one of them. So it was like, it became the remix, because we're one of those only groups that remixes our own songs, because we have so many versions at the end of it. Like, we did it with our song Millionaire too. There's another version of Millionaire that's a remix that we made. But of Hero, there was the dance mix that we put out afterwards, and then the original mix, and it's just completely different tempos. It was like last minute, I was like, dude, we're doing this song all wrong. It needs to be at like 140 BPM. Let's speed it up. And they were like, oh, I'll bring it back down. And it's just, we're all over the place. It's just It's an example of how ADD we are, ADHD. Yeah.
Now, when you guys run into situations like that with the three of you, who is the final person to say, all right, this is the version we go with, or is it the label?
Usually we'll be in agreement, but if we, like, you know, a lot of times me and Alex will be torn on something and Sam will be the deciding factor, or, you know, I mean, there hasn't been a time where we needed really outside. I mean, if it was, we would ask our manager or like a good friend, but usually the three of us, we could just figure it out.
Well, I'm glad you guys figured this one out because it's an absolute smash. Congratulations on another number one. What is next for Cash Cash?
What is next? We got another single here I'm going to be singing on. That one's going to be coming out. We're shooting for, I think, May, but I'm really excited about it. It's going to be definitely a departure from what we've been doing. But it's not going to be anything that's so distant from what we've done. So, you know, it's really, the best way I can say it is it's Cash Cash 1.0 plus Cash Cash 2.0 to make Cash Cash 3.0. And you're going to see a little bit of everything we've done into the next single.
Well, can't wait to hear it. And of course, everybody can follow at Cash Cash, right, for all the socials?
Yep.
JP, it is awesome seeing you. Congratulations on another number one. Thank you so much for your time on America's Dance 30.
Thank you, Brian.